Chapter 1291 Advancing to Golden Immortal, Resonance Between Heaven and Earth, Shuhaiji Net. Brother, are you about to become a Golden Immortal? Ming Ryu opened her eyes wide and looked at He Pingxing. Her eyes weren't very big to begin with, and they didn't have that round, wide look when she opened them, but they still had a unique kind of beauty about them. He Pingxing smiled and nodded. Yes. I also hope that my junior sister will protect me. By the way, you originally had a 6th grade bloodline. He Pingxing asked a question. Tomorrow Moon said, yes, brother. After breaking through to the Golden Immortal realm, one's entire destiny will be reshaped, and at that time, one's bloodline and roots will be revealed. Generally speaking, more than 90% of ordinary immortals have a bloodline root of the 3rd rank. A person with the foundation of a 3rd grade cultivator is destined to lose all wisdom in the early stages of the Golden Immortal realm. A 4th rank cultivator is already an exceptional individual, capable of cultivating to the late Golden Immortal stage. If one can reach the 5th rank, there is hope of breaking through to become a Tai Golden Immortal. But if one reaches the 6th rank, there is a possibility of fighting against a Grand Luo Golden Immortal. Of course, this is only a theoretical possibility. Brother, don't worry. You once consumed a top-grade Fuji Heaven Connecting Pill when you were at the 1st level of the Profound Immortal stage. No matter what your background is, you can eventually become a Tai Golden Immortal. And no matter what your bloodline or lineage is, I will never look down on you. At this point, Ming Ryu waved her hand, and a bronze mask appeared in her delicate, fair hand. With a gentle lift of her hand, the bronze mask was placed on her face. A sense of mystery arises spontaneously. Is your eternal golden elixir ready, brother? She asked. He Pingxing said, ready. Junior sister, please protect me. The next moment, He Pingxing sat cross-legged in the void and began to close his eyes to adjust. Before making a breakthrough, first adjust your physical condition to its best. About 2 hours later, He Pingxing finished his adjustment. Next, we need to break through. He Pingxing suddenly remembered the time when Han Hoji broke through, which caused a resonance between heaven and earth, so he asked Ming Ryu, junior sister, I have another question for you. Tomorrow Moon said, brother, please speak. He Pingxing asked, when you broke through to the Golden Immortal realm and obtained the 6th grade foundation, did it resonate with the heavens and earth? Hehehe. Ming Ryu chuckled and said, brother is joking. The resonance between heaven and earth is something that only those who can be called peerless geniuses even in the entire immortal realm can attract. How could I possibly attract it? Legend has it that the minimum requirement is a 7th grade bloodline. Or an 8th rank official. He Pingxing frowned slightly, at least 7th rank. Why is it that Han Hoji, a mere 6th rank official, can evoke a resonance between heaven and earth? Could it be because this guy has the purple gold bottle? Forget it, I don't want to think about it anymore. He Pingxing turned his head, took a deep breath, and swallowed the golden pill in one gulp. The 5th stage Eternal Golden Elixir. Rumble. The moment He Pingxing swallowed the eternal golden pill, a frenzied fluctuation emanated from his body. The 5 dantians began to throb almost simultaneously, and the immortal spiritual power within each dantian spun wildly, resembling the scene at the beginning of the universe. Suddenly, a golden light shot out from that dantian. The 5 golden rays merged into one, bursting forth with 5 colors, rushing into the sea of consciousness, then rushing over the top of the head, and soaring into the endless sky in one breath. The once clear sky suddenly darkened. The world was shrouded in darkness, except for the starry sky and a single, multicolored light. After 2 breaths, the multicolored light grew brighter and more dazzling. Finally, the stars in the sky disappeared under the radiance of this light. Between heaven and earth, there was only one ray of light. Thump. A metallic clanging sound came from the heavens, instantly reverberating throughout the 4 directions and spreading to hundreds of millions of miles away. The sound was like the tolling of a bell, or perhaps the voice of the heavens. Grand. Lofty. Crisp. Deep and powerful. The sound seemed to cleanse the souls of all living things. The guardian Ming Ryu, standing some distance away, clutched his chest in shock, staring in fear at the void and the beam of light shooting into the sky above He Pingxing's head. He stammered, "Heaven, heaven and earth resonate." She had never witnessed the resonance between heaven and earth. However, once this voice came out, Ming Ryu could determine that it must be a resonance of the heavenly Tao. He Pingxing, who was in the process of breaking through, was also surprised by himself. Holy crap! I've also achieved resonance with heaven and earth. Okay. Let's see how many times I can make that sound. Soon. The light above He Pingxing's head slowly dimmed and then went out. The next moment, less than a breath later, a 5-colored light condensed once again in his 5 dantian, passing through the top of his head and rushing into the void. The sky turned dark for the second time. Thump. The second wave of the universe resonates across the 4 directions, cleansing all living things. The heavenly Pleiades are vast. It's unimaginably big. The location where He Pingxing broke through to the Golden Immortal Realm was not in the Xian Men, but within the Northern Crown Demon Realm. However, looking at the whole map, it is still very close to the Great Wall at the north. Its distance from the Northern Crown Great Wall is less than 1/1000th of the entire length of the immortal enclosure. Therefore, when he broke through, this strange phenomenon was naturally also sensed by the Northern Crown Great Wall. Upon hearing this voice, Li Qianxin, who was discussing confidential matters in the main hall, suddenly looked up and then instantly stepped out of the hall. Behind her followed a tall man who exuded an aura of divinity. My dear reader, there's more to, even more exciting content awaits. At this moment, the sky is dark, and the stars are moving stealthily. In the void of the north, a thin beam of light suddenly shot out and soared straight into the sky. They were too far away. All they could see was a line. Who? Before Li Qianxin could speak, the man behind her gasped sharply and exclaimed excitedly, "Resonance between heaven and earth. Heavens, there are actually people on your immortal realm who can trigger the resonance between heaven and earth." Li Qianxin's eyes narrowed slightly. May I ask, Senior, what is this resonance between heaven and earth? The man said, "After breaking through to the Golden Immortal Realm, one's fortune is reshaped. If one's foundation reaches the 7th rank, one can trigger a resonance with heaven and earth. Someone is breaking through to the Golden Immortal Realm." Hehehe. It's quite a coincidence. 100 years ago, I personally witnessed the magnificent scene of the Holy Maiden of Shilling breaking through to the Golden Immortal Realm, which caused a resonance between heaven and earth, thus achieving an unparalleled 8th rank foundation. Let's go and see who this is, who can attract the resonance of heaven and earth, and what rank they are. Buzzing. After saying that, the man waved his hand, compressing the surrounding void and using spatial laws to bring Li Qianxin to He Pingxing's breakthrough point in one breath. Swoosh. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this very moment, countless streaks of light from all around flew toward this place. These streaks of light include disciples of the demonic sect and immortals of the esoteric sect. They thought some extraordinary treasure had appeared. Thump. Within He Pingxing's body, a third ray of light shot into the sky, reaching the heavens. The third resonance between heaven and earth. Upon seeing that the person breaking through was actually her own disciple, Li Qianxin covered her mouth in surprise and exclaimed, It's actually him." The man asked, "Do you know him?" Li Qianxin said, This is my disciple." Chapter 1292. Great Luo Golden Immortal Han Houji was very upset. He has been in the Golden Immortal stage for 1,000 years. His current cultivation level has reached the 3rd level of Golden Immortal. During this time, he searched for He Pingxing frantically. He felt that if he didn't kill He Pingxing, his Tao heart would eventually run into problems. The problem is, despite his hard work and searching for so many years, he has found absolutely no trace of He Pingxing. Only recently, after hearing the news of the great battle between He Pingxing and Qianmao Immortal King, did he rush to Bamian Immortal City. But as soon as he arrived at the Northern Crown Immortal City, he saw a divine light soaring into the sky from the demon realm. Immediately afterwards, a resonance resounded between heaven and earth. This is. Looking at the sliver of divine light in the far distance, Han Houji's face broke into a maniacal smile. Ha ha ha. He Pingxing, it must be you. Good lad. I've finally found you. Although, you might be difficult to deal with after you reach the golden immortal realm, you are doomed to die. So what if there's resonance? The small resonance of heaven and earth is nothing compared to my strength. Swoosh! Han Hoji's figure swept through the void, rushing towards where He Pingxing was. The number of people and demons surrounding He Pingxing is increasing. He was about to cry. He really didn't expect that his breakthrough would cause such a resonance between heaven and earth. So I didn't prepare. Actually, preparing is useless. No matter where you are, as long as your breakthrough resonates with heaven and earth, it cannot be hidden. At this moment, He Pingxing only wanted his breakthrough ceremony to end quickly so he could leave this place. Thump. The fourth resonance between heaven and earth. Thump. The fifth one. Thump. The sixth one. Then. Absolutely not. However, He Pingxing keenly realized that his breakthrough to Golden Immortal was not yet complete. The 5 dantian within his body were still spinning wildly. Soon, the 7th beam of light condensed. However, this 7th ray of light did not soar into the sky, but remained hidden within the body, stopping only at the sea of consciousness. Naturally, this 7th ray of light did not resonate with the heavens and earth. A few breaths later, the 8th ray of light also flashed out, originating from the dantian and stopping at the sea of consciousness, without rushing into the void. Then comes the 9th one. As the 9 beams of light disappeared, He Pingxing's cultivation level naturally broke through, reaching the golden immortal realm. The next moment, He Pingxing opened his eyes, and a golden light flashed in his eyes. There was no heavenly tribulation upon breaking through to the golden immortal realm. The people around them started talking about it. What happened? It seems to be a 6th grade bloodline. Yes, although a 6th grade bloodline is exceptionally gifted, why is this guy able to resonate with the heavens and earth? I'm wondering too. I've heard that only those with a 7th grade root can resonate with heaven and earth. No. Haven't you all heard that 1,000 years ago, Han Hoji also drew down the 6 paths of heaven and earth resonance? Yes, I remember now. Seeing the murmuring crowd around him, Ming Ryu waved his hand, his eyes turning icy. Anyone still here within a breath, die. Upon hearing this, everyone scurried away in fear. Although he only has a 6th grade bloodline, he's enough to kill us. In the end, only Li Qianxin and the man behind her remained. Of course, out of sight of the others, another figure slowly turned around and slowly left. This is Han Hoji. He originally came to kill He Pingxing, but suddenly discovered that Li Qianxin was standing not far from He Pingxing. Han Hoji could not possibly be afraid of Li Qianxin, but the man beside Li Qianxin gave him a feeling of dread. He had just secretly peeked at the other party using a secret technique, but he couldn't see through the other party's cultivation level. Therefore, Han Hoji could be basically certain that this man's cultivation level was at least at the Great Luo Golden Immortal level. With people like that around, how the hell am I supposed to kill He Pingxing? Never mind. I'm leaving now. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Han Hoji could only secretly turn around and leave. Just after Han Hoji turned around, the man next to Li Qianxin also suddenly turned his head and looked in Han Hoji's direction. Senior, what's wrong? Li Qianxin asked. The man chuckled coldly and said, it's nothing. There was a very interesting guy, but he got away. Disciple He Pingxing greets master. Upon seeing Li Qianxin, He Pingxing quickly came over and bowed. Li Qianxin nodded and said with a smile, congratulations, He Pingxing, you've finally reached the eternal golden immortal realm. Moreover, the breakthrough even triggered a resonance with heaven and earth. You are extraordinary, and your future achievements will surely surpass those of your teacher. Come quickly and pay your respects to Senior Wei Tong. Senior Wei Tong is an immortal of the Great Luo Golden Immortal level. Holy crap! He Pingxing was so frightened he almost swore. His expression suddenly changed, and he quickly cupped his hands in greeting. Greetings, Senior Wei. Even the usually arrogant Tomorrow Moon bowed in this direction. Wei Tongdao said, no need for formalities, He Pingxing, is that right? Not bad, not bad. However, I am not a true Great Luo Golden Immortal. Heh. He Pingxing was slightly taken aback. What's going on? My master said this is the Great Luo, but this guy denies it? Wei Tong continued. In reality, I am merely a benevolent corpse of a Great Luo Golden Immortal. I ask you, you have reached the Golden Immortal realm and attracted the resonance of heaven and earth, so why do you only have a 6th grade bloodline foundation? As far as I know, those who can resonate with heaven and earth must have a bloodline and foundation of at least the 7th rank, right? He Pingxing frowned deeply and said, I don't know either. In fact, He Pingxing knew very well what was going on. He was not a 6th rank official, but a 9th rank official. However, the last 3 beams of light from this 9th grade foundation remained hidden within his body and were not activated. As for why, He Pingxing didn't know, but he felt that it was a special protection from the heavenly Tao for beings with the root of the 9th rank. Otherwise, if the news of your 9th rank background gets out, countless powerful beings in the immortal realm will want to kill you as soon as possible. What truly made He Pingxing frown was something else. Han Hoji. He had heard that Han Hoji's 6th rank foundation had resonated with heaven and earth, and he had been puzzled for a long time. But now, after comparing the two, He Pingxing understands it at a glance. Han Hoji's 3rd grade bloodline has probably been concealed as well. He, too, was a 9th rank official. Good heavens! No wonder he possesses the purple gold bottle. Wei Tongdao exclaimed, this is utterly unbelievable. He Pingxing quickly replied, perhaps it's because the environment in our Qianmao star system is different. Hehehe. Wei Tong chuckled. Are you trying to fool me? It's a pity I'm a benevolent corpse. If that evil corpse were here, it would definitely blame you for being reckless. I wouldn't dare. Before He Pingxing could speak, Li Qianxian, standing beside him, cupped his hands and said, Senior Wei Tong, it's not that this junior disciple is deceiving you, but rather, there is indeed precedent for this. 1,000 years ago, on our heavenly Pleiades immortal realm, there was a fellow named Han Hoji who, when breaking through to the golden immortal realm, also triggered a resonance with the 6 paths of heaven and earth, thus achieving a 6th grade foundation. That's why my disciple said it's related to the water and soil of Qianmao immortal enclosure. Oh! Wei Tong was surprised again. Such a thing actually happened. How strange, how strange. This is the 5th update, everyone. I'll still be updating 3 times a week for the next period of time. Sorry. Chapter 1292 Great Luo Golden Immortal. As far as I know, those who can resonate with heaven and earth must have a bloodline and foundation of at least the 7th rank, right? He Pingxing frowned deeply and said, I don't know either. In fact, He Pingxing knew very well what was going on. He was not a 6th rank official, but a 9th rank official. However, the last 3 beams of light from this 9th grade foundation remained hidden within his body and were not activated. As for why, He Pingxing didn't know, but he felt that it was a special protection from the heavenly Tao for beings with the root of the 9th rank. Otherwise, if the news of your 9th rank background gets out, countless powerful beings in the immortal realm will want to kill you as soon as possible. What truly made He Pingxing frown was something else. Han Hoji. He had heard that Han Hoji's 6th rank foundation had resonated with heaven and earth, and he had been puzzled for a long time. But now, after comparing the two, He Pingxing understands it at a glance. Han Hoji's 3rd grade bloodline has probably been concealed as well. He, too, was a 9th rank official. Good heavens! No wonder he possesses the purple gold bottle. Wei Tongdao exclaimed, this is utterly unbelievable. He Pingxing quickly replied, perhaps it's because the environment in our Qianmao star system is different. Hehehe. Wei Tong chuckled. Are you trying to fool me? It's a pity I'm a benevolent corpse. If that evil corpse were here, it would definitely blame you for being reckless. I wouldn't dare. Before He Pingxing could speak, Li Qianxian, standing beside him, cupped his hands and said, Senior Wei Tong, it's not that this junior disciple is deceiving you, but rather, there is indeed precedent for this. 1,000 years ago, on our heavenly Pleiades immortal realm, there was a fellow named Han Hoji who, when breaking through to the golden immortal realm, also triggered a resonance with the 6 paths of heaven and earth, thus achieving a 6th grade foundation. That's why my disciple said it's related to the water and soil of Qianmao Immortal Enclosure. Oh! Wei Tong was surprised again. Such a thing actually happened. How strange, how strange. This is the 5th update, everyone. I'll still be updating 3 times a week for the next period of time. Sorry. Chapter 1293 Whereabouts. Let's not talk about this anymore. With a wave of his sleeve, Wei Tong shifted his gaze from Yipingxing to Ming Ryu. This girl has impressive cultivation. She has already reached the 12th level of the Tai Golden Immortal Realm. They're only a hair's breadth away from becoming great Luo Golden Immortals, aren't they? Facing Wei Tong, Ming Ryu naturally dared not be arrogant. She took a deep breath, approached Wei Tong, and respectfully cupped her hands in greeting. Senior, you flatter me. I have only just broken through to the 12th level of the Tai Golden Immortal Realm. I haven't even grasped the basics of my own Tao yet. I'm still 100,000 miles away from becoming a great Luo Golden Immortal. Hehehe. Wei Tong chuckled again. No rush, no rush. Since you've reached the 12th level of the Tai Golden Immortal Realm and haven't yet lost your wisdom, then the Deluo Golden Immortal Realm will naturally fall into your trap sooner or later. Moreover, for you demons, becoming a great Luo Golden Immortal is even easier. Tomorrow Moon's body trembled slightly. She had tried her best to suppress the demonic energy on her body, but she didn't expect that the other party would still see through it. But upon closer reflection, it made sense. The other party was a great immortal, so it wasn't surprising that he could tell. Did you kill Qianmao? Wei Tong suddenly asked another question. This question startled Asahi, and she didn't know how to answer it. With a wave of his hand, Wei Tong recalled that some residual aura still condensed in the void where Ming Ryu had previously devoured Qianmao. To be honest, with my abilities, even if you don't tell me, I have ways of finding out. Wei Tong's eyes suddenly turned cold. Before Ming Ryu could speak, Yipingxing cupped his hands and spoke first. Senior. Qianmao is my grandmaster. 2 months ago, he unreasonably demanded that his juniors offer sacrifices. In order to protect myself, I had no choice but to flee to this Northern Crown Demon Realm. After arriving at the Northern Crown Demon Realm, my junior sister, the 6 demon kings of the demon clan, and I joined forces to kill Qianmao. This whole affair was started by me. If you, senior, pursue the matter, I am willing to bear the consequences. It wasn't that Yipingxing was particularly righteous, but rather that the other party was a great Luo Golden Immortal. It was said that great Luo Golden Immortals could jump out of the river of time and instantly go back in time, so it wouldn't be difficult for them to find out the truth of what happened back then. Since there's no way to avoid it, it's better to take the initiative and say it. That way, at least you'll have a little bit of control over things. Wei Tong nodded and said, it's good that you admit it. He continued, Qianmao was sent by Immortal Emperor Li Mu to manage the Qianmao star system and rule over this region. After his life tablet shattered, the Immortal Emperor dispatched me to investigate the cause. Li Qianxin asked with a worried expression, Senior, are you going to punish my disciple? No, no. Wei Tong said, in the immortal realm, each immortal bears their own karma. Although Qian'ang is the lord of this star system, he is not a disciple of the Immortal Emperor. He will naturally bear the consequences of his actions, and neither the Immortal Emperor nor I will get involved. Hearing this, Yipingxing breathed a sigh of relief. Li Qianxin and Ming Ryu also breathed a sigh of relief. Looking at Ming Ryu, Wei Tong continued, the Immortal Emperor observed the celestial phenomena at night and discovered that the demonic inheritance of the Northern Crown Heavenly Emperor has already formed an order. However, he wonders whether this order resides within you or belongs to someone else. Fearing that he would implicate Yipingxing, Ming Ryu simply said, it is this junior who inherited the Northern Crown's legacy. Good, good, good. Wei Tong said, in the immortal realm, the Xian and the demon coexist. Since you have already inherited the demonic legacy of the Northern Crown Heavenly Emperor, I will give you 2 choices. Firstly, you will leave the Qianmao star system with me and go to the Immortal Emperor's place, where you will be at the mercy of Immortal Emperor Li Mu. Secondly, if you swear an oath to the heavenly Tao that you will remain within the Qianmao star system for the rest of your life and never leave it, then I will not pursue the matter further. Moreover, perhaps you will be the one to name this star system in the future. How? Wei Tong's eyes burned as he stared at Ming Ryu. Tomorrow Moon asked, if I stay here, aren't you worried that this entire star system will fall into the hands of the demonic forces? Ha ha ha. Wei Tong said, mystery is up to you, and so is demonism. It's just a galaxy, a drop in the ocean. Even if it turns into dust, who would care? I. Ming Ryu panicked, not knowing what to do. She wanted to choose the second option, to rule over a star system, which would also be a good ending. Perhaps, I might even become a great immortal in the future. So what if I never leave the galaxy in my entire life? That's fine too. But the thought that He Pingsheng would leave this star system sooner or later made Ming Ryu feel flustered. Junior sister. He Pingsheng walked over, patted her shoulder, and said, do as you please, if. He had only said a few words when Wei Tong, who was standing next to him, interrupted him. Wei Tong asked, are you two fellow disciples? Are they siblings? He Pingsheng said, this is my junior sister. Oh. Wei Tong nodded, all right. For the sake of young friend I'll give you face. All right then. Here. You don't need to swear an oath. From now on, you will be the ruler of this Qianmao star system. May I ask how I should address you, fairy? Ming Ryu said, this humble servant is Ming Ryu. Great name. Wei Tong continued, from today onwards, let's call this star system the Tomorrow's Moon star system. Of course, if you don't like this name, you can change it. You are the Galaxy Lord, and everything is up to you. I must give young friend face. However, He Pingsheng, you owe me a favor. He Pingsheng and Ming Ryu immediately expressed their gratitude. But after thanking him, He Pingsheng felt something was wrong. He thought about it for about a dozen breaths before he suddenly realized, damn it. I've been tricked. That bastard Wei Tong didn't contribute anything. He just played a trick of alternating between tension and relaxation, and yet we are grateful to him. Good grief. Now I owe him a favor? That bastard went through all that trouble, only to end up scheming to take advantage of my favor? Grandmas. Alas. Wei Tong let out a deep sigh and said, so be it. My journey has come to a successful conclusion, and I must depart now. Young friend if you have any doubts, you can ask me. He looked at He Pingsheng with a smile. He Pingsheng cupped his hands in greeting, no longer standing on ceremony, and asked directly, thank you, senior. I have 2 questions to ask. First, as a great Luo Golden Immortal, you are very knowledgeable. Have you ever heard of a great golden immortal empress named Xiao Huizhu? Wei Tong frowned slightly and asked in return, Xiao Huizhu? Yes. He Pingsheng nodded, it is indeed Xiao Huizhu. Of course, perhaps she doesn't have this name in the immortal realm. No. Wei Tong said, that should be her name. Is the person you're talking about her? As he spoke, Wei Tong waved his sleeves, and the great Tao law instantly condensed in the void, forming a portrait of a woman in an instant. If it's not Xiao Huizhu, then who is it? Upon seeing Xiao Huizhu, He Pingsheng was filled with excitement, his body trembling. Senior, this is her. May I ask, Senior, where is she now? Chapter 1294 Golden Feather Immortal Token. Wei Tong didn't answer He Pingsheng's question. Instead, he looked at him and asked, what is your relationship with her? Why search for an empress? He Pingsheng took a deep breath. He naturally dared not say that he was Xiao Huizhu's Daoist partner. He simply cupped his hands and said, back then, I was in danger when she saved me. She saved my life. Secondly, she also taught me some cultivation methods. Although she is not my master, she is better than a master to me. Senior Xiao Huizhu once said that if I have the opportunity to meet her again in the future, she will naturally take me as her disciple. Therefore, I must find her. Oh. Wei Tong nodded and said, I see. He Pingxing said, please tell me her location, senior. Wei Tong Dao, let's talk about your second question first. After you've finished explaining your second question, I'll answer your first one. Yes. Although He Pingxing was very eager to know Qiao Huizhu's location, he could only put it aside for the time being and instead asked, my second question is that when we immortals cultivate and comprehend the Tao, we try our best to pursue completeness and make the great Tao laws fit us perfectly. But why, after reaching the great Luo golden immortal realm, must one separately condense the self, good, and evil, and even refine 3 avatars? When He Pingxing asked this question, Li Qianxin and Ming Ryu also perked up their ears. They wanted to know too. Wei Tongdao said, after reaching the great Luo golden immortal realm, one can transcend the river of time, which means one can create 3 avatars. Do you know about the river of time? He Pingxing shook his head. Wei Tongdao said, once one's cultivation reaches the level of a great Luo golden immortal, one can harness the power of the Tao of time and enter the river of time. In this river of time, there is the past and future of everyone in the immortal realm. Everyone's past and future are like a line. If we go against the flow of time, we can reach someone's childhood. Let me give you an example. Suppose that you, He Pingxing, are a great Luo golden immortal right now, and I, Wei Tong, am also a great Luo golden immortal, but I can't defeat you, He Pingxing. Then, I can enter the river of time and follow your timeline to your childhood. I'll kill you when you're a child. In this way, we can achieve the effect of eliminating the enemy's firepower at its root. Upon hearing these words, He Pingxing felt a chill run through his entire body. Good heavens! That's absolutely incredible. If that bastard Han Houji had entered the great Luo golden immortal realm before me, wouldn't he have been able to travel along my timeline to my past and kill me there? Then all my future will disappear. Therefore, Wei Tong continued, by transforming one's own Tao into 3 aspects, good, evil, and self, and then infusing them into these 3 incarnations of good, evil, and self, one person becomes 4 people. These 4 people are one person, but their auras are different. In this way, although your opponent can enter the river of time, they will not be able to find your past timeline based on your aura. Because your auras have already separated. In other words, in the long river of time, there are countless beings, and all he sees at a glance are traces of time from countless immortals. How could he possibly know which one belongs to you? Of course, preventing one's past and future from being searched for is just one of the functions of condensing the 3 flowers and 3 corpses. The second purpose is to prepare for entering the Dao Yuan realm. I'm not entirely sure about that either, he. All right, that concludes my answer to your question. Are you satisfied? He Pingxing bowed and thanked him, saying, yes, I understand. Please tell me, senior, where is Qiao Huizhu now? Easy. Wei Tong looked at He Pingxing with a smile and said, the one who saw Qiao Huizhu in person was not me, but my true form. The original body. He Pingxing didn't understand what it meant at first, but after thinking about it carefully, he realized that Wei Tong was actually a benevolent corpse. Wei Tong nodded, that's right, it's the original body. Sometimes the clone and the main body share some information, but it's not particularly detailed. For example, regarding this Qiao Huizhu, I only know that my original self has seen her before, but as for when and where we met, I have no idea. If you want to know, you'll have to find a way to go to Li Muyuan, at the core of the star cluster, and ask my true form. Young friend I really am a bit sorry. He Pingxing nodded somewhat disappointedly. He knew that Wei Tong, as a benevolent corpse, had no malicious intent, so he wouldn't lie to him. Thank you, senior. He Pingxing said, may I ask, what is your true form, senior? Wei Tong Dao, naturally, it's Immortal Emperor Li Mu. About 3,000 years from now, a grand event will be held in Li Muyuan. At that time, all the geniuses in the entire Li Muxing group will participate. I can grant you a spot. If you perform exceptionally well at the grand event, You might gain the favor of the immortal emperor and have the opportunity to ask the questions that have been troubling you. Here, it's for you. Wei Tong placed a purplish-red jade tablet in the void in front of He Pingsheng. Then Wei Tong tossed 2 more tokens to Ming Ryu. Demon Lord, keep these safe. Find 2 more people later and have them go together. My dear reader, there's more to, even more exciting content awaits. However, to participate in the grand event, one must achieve a score of 99 points at the 9th level of the Golden Immortal Realm within the standard Heavenly Gate formation. Otherwise, going there will be pointless. After saying that, Wei Tong waved his hand, directly parted the space, and transformed into a stream of light and disappeared. When they looked again, Wei Tong had already flown into the sky and disappeared into the starry sky in the southeast. He Pingsheng reached out and took the jade tablet that was floating in the air into his hand. This jade plaque is about the size of a palm, with some cloud patterns engraved on it, and 2 characters on the back, Li Mu. The front is inscribed with 4 characters, Golden Feather Immortal Token. After looking at it for a while, He Pingsheng still couldn't understand it, so he could only put the sign away for now. Li Qianxian, standing nearby, said, "Our Qianmao star system. Oh no, it should be called the Mingryu star system now. Anyway, it's our star system, belonging to the Li Mu star cluster." The Li Mu star cluster is a massive celestial body containing approximately 100,000 star systems. It is said that if one reaches the cultivation level of a great Luo Golden Immortal, one can fly into the depths of the endless void and overlook the entire Li Mu star cluster from afar. From that scale, the entire Li Mu star cluster, composed of all the galaxies, resembles a golden feather. Therefore, the Li Mu star cluster has a very nice nickname, called the Golden Feather Star Cluster. Li Qianxian paused slightly, then continued, "There are hundreds of thousands of star systems in the entire Li Mu star cluster, but every 100,000 years, the Immortal Emperor will hold a gathering of geniuses called the Golden Feather Gathering on the Li Mu enclosure. At that time, all the Golden Immortal level geniuses from 100,000 star systems across the entire star cluster will participate. For example, there will be 2 or 3 spots on our star cluster. The Golden Feather Immortal token that Senior Wei Tong just gave you is one of those qualifications." Chapter 1295 Returning to the Celestial Heart Immortal Realm. Don't you hate her? The sky was covered with dark clouds, and streaks of lightning snaked and tumbled from within them. The wind howled as it passed through the long covered walkway. Wearing a bronze mask, Ming Ryu leaned casually against the corner of the second-floor veranda railing, his gaze fixed on the dark clouds filling the sky. He asked, "Why hate her?" "Actually, it's all cause and effect. I'm already extremely grateful that she spared my life and didn't kill me." As they spoke, Ming Ryu turned her head, looked at He Pingsheng, and smiled slightly. "Besides, I don't think the name Ming Ryu Galaxy sounds good either." He Pingsheng nodded. "The Crimson Lotus Galaxy is fine too." Tomorrow, the Sun Moon became the master of this star system, and she also changed the names of this star system and the Immortal Realm. The galaxy is called the Crimson Lotus Galaxy, and the Immortal Enclosure is named the Crimson Lotus Immortal Enclosure. It is said to be in memory of Red Lotus Immortal Valley and the Red Lotus Ancestor. That's why He Pingsheng asked that question just now. "What are you planning to do next?" Ming Ryu looked at He Pingsheng and asked, "Brother, do you want to go into seclusion here, or do you want to go to Li Muyuan's place now?" He Pingsheng said, "Let's go into seclusion first. My understanding of space is currently insufficient. I am not yet capable of using the great Tao of space to fly to Li Muyuan's location. Take these talismans, junior sister." As he spoke, He Pingsheng took out 4 more offensive talismans. They are all of the 6th rank, and the best of the 6th rank. Heh. Ming Ryu was slightly taken aback as she held the talisman. "Why are you giving me this?" He Pingsheng said, "I have a grudge against Han Hoji. He should be at the Golden Immortal stage now. Although he is only at the Golden Immortal stage, you may not be his match if he launches a sudden attack or a sneak attack. If you had these 4 celestial talismans, you could use them to deal with him. Because this guy has no bottom line, you never know when he'll come after you." "Oh, thank you, brother." Ming Ryu smiled sweetly and put away the magic talisman. He Pingxing said, "I'm going into seclusion." After saying that, he returned to his dojo. Bang, bang, bang. First, set up the 8 immortal formations. Then I went into seclusion. The task for this retreat is very simple. First, strengthen. First, upgrade the low-grade immortal talismans I got from Qianmao to the highest grade. Besides the talisman, there is also the source, especially the 6th grade spatial source. And those 12 gold coins. Second, alchemy. Once the 6th grade spatial origin is strengthened, it can be used to refine the 6th grade, spring and autumn great Tao pill. Third, enlightenment and spiritual practice. Countless things, but the ultimate goal is still cultivation, to improve one's cultivation level. Especially now, He Pingxing needs to improve his cultivation. Because Wei Tong said that once one's cultivation reaches the level of a great Luo golden immortal, one can enter the river of time and see the golden lines of other people's life timelines. What if I fall behind and that bastard Han Hoji enters the river of time ahead of time? That would be terrible. Am I not doomed? Regardless of the circumstances, we must reach the great Luo golden immortal realm before Han Hoji. Either I can destroy Han Hoji's timeline, or I can unleash my 3 flowers, so that Han Hoji will never be able to find any trace of me again. Therefore, we need to work hard to improve our cultivation level in the time ahead. Besides improving one's cultivation level, comprehending the Tao is equally important. Especially that spatial magic. Only by comprehending the Tao of space can one better unleash the spatial void technique and travel through the immortal realm more quickly. So come on. He enhanced several low-grade 6th rank immortal talismans into top-grade ones, both offensive and defensive. The 12 gold coins were also upgraded to the highest grade. There are 24 in total. After the enhancement, He Pingxing was overjoyed and took it out to take a look. Name: 24 gold coin. Grade: rank 6, top grade. Function: once activated, it provides both offensive and defensive capabilities. When all 24 are used simultaneously, both offensive and defensive attacks can unleash power equivalent to a top-grade 7th rank immortal artifact. Hiss. He Pingxing was shocked. In other words, each of these 24 gold coins is a top-grade 6th rank item, but if all 24 are used together, it is equivalent to a top-grade 7th rank immortal artifact. Let it refine slowly. Refining is a problem. Next, we'll continue to strengthen it. The spatial origin was strengthened and then used to refine the spring and autumn great Tao pill with spatial attributes. After it was refined, it was strengthened again and became a 6th grade golden pill, and it was even a top grade one. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Time flows slowly by. In the blink of an eye, 1600 years have passed. He Pingxing walked out of the temple. Things have been going well lately, and his cultivation has been breaking through very quickly, reaching the 6th level of the golden immortal stage. Right. It has 6 floors. Breaking through to the golden immortal realm is extremely difficult. Not only does it require the arduous accumulation of immortal essence within the body, but it also necessitates the refinement of Daoist techniques. To overcome the physical barrier, first overcome the spiritual barrier. The reason why people like He Pingxing and Han Hoji were able to break through so quickly after reaching the golden immortal stage was not only due to their own talent, but also because they borrowed the power of the Fuji Jietian pill. If one can develop a Tao root and comprehend the Tao ahead of time during the profound immortal stage, then by the time one reaches the golden immortal stage, the Tao barriers of the previous few levels will have already been broken. When they try to break through again, they will naturally be much faster than others. During his years of seclusion, He Pingxing not only broke through in cultivation, but also finally caught up in spirit refinement. The key point is that he also completely refined those 2 or 4 gold coins. My dear reader, there's more to, even more exciting content awaits. From now on, I'll have another way to save my life when I fight. Junior sister, I need to leave for a while. He Pingxing found Ming Ryu and said, there are still 1,400 years until the golden feather gathering begins. I need to go there in advance to check on the situation. Also, I don't know how long the journey will take, so I need to leave early. All right. Ming Ryu cupped his hands in greeting. Then I wish you a safe journey, brother. He Pingxing waved his hand, opening up the celestial ship in the void. Then he took a step and landed on it. The next moment, the endless spatial Tao technique within his body burst open. With the help of the void immortal ship, the ability of the spatial void technique to fold and compress space was greatly enhanced, and he Pingxing flew out of the Crimson Lotus immortal enclosure in a flash. In the time it takes to breathe 10, they flew from the Crimson Lotus immortal realm into the high sky. Looking down from his perspective, he saw another huge and massive star chart. The vast universe is truly magnificent. Looking at this enormous star chart, in the corner of the third cantilever arm lies the celestial enclosure of the heart. They're gone. He Pingxing continued to use the space void technique to propel the void immortal ship into flight. The void around him transformed into endless laws, constantly compressing and folding. Less than half an hour later, they landed on the Heavenly Heart Immortal Enclosure. Upon arriving at Xianxia Immortal Enclosure, he Pingxing first paid a visit to Li Xianxia and obtained a star map of the entire Li Mu star cluster from him before taking his leave. Then we arrived at Floating Light Immortal City and saw servants quarrying stones. Wah-ah-ah. Upon seeing he Pingxing, she suddenly knelt down on the ground. Young master, this old servant has not seen you for 4,600 years. You're finally back. Wow. Chapter 1296 for Old Servant. Old servant has missed you so much. Wah-ah-ah. Xianxia cried like a child. He Pingxing smiled and said, "Get up. I still have something to ask you." As they were talking, he Pingxing found a seat in the main hall and sat down. His divine sense burst forth, and he saw the entire Crimson Sunset Peak above Floating Light Immortal City. This place is bustling with activity now, with 3 shopping malls and countless other shops. It seems the businesses here are growing bigger and bigger. Young master, please have some tea. Xianxia respectfully brewed a pot of tea for he Pingxing himself. He Pingxing picked up the teacup and drank it all in one gulp. Don't stand, sit down. He Pingxing gestured for Xianxia to sit opposite him, then asked, "Any news about your servant, Qiyu?" Back then, he Pingxing sent Kai Yu out of Xianxia Immortal Enclosure and even encouraged him to leave the entire Qianmao star system, all in order to find Xiao Huizhu and the others. More than 4,000 years have passed. Hopefully, there will be some news. However, Xianxia shook his head and said, "No. I can sense that he is roughly in this direction, very far away, but I can't pinpoint his exact location." As he spoke, Xianxia raised his hand and pointed to a certain void in the southeast direction. Because of the laws of nature, masters and servants can clearly sense each other's location when they are not too far apart. However, if this distance is infinitely large, it becomes impossible to perceive the distance. However, it can sense a general direction of location. He Pingxing nodded. "All right, since there's no news, let's leave it for now. Over the years, have you managed to acquire anything good from the Chamber of Commerce here?" He Pingxing asked with a smile as he looked at the quarry. Xianxia said, "Yes. Young master, please wait a moment." Phew. Young master has already reached the golden immortal realm. This old man is truly far behind. Young master is truly an unparalleled genius. While praising he Pingxing, Xianxia took out a ring and said, "Inside this are some Daoist origins, the most of which are 5th grade 5 elements origins. Now that you are a golden immortal, it's perfect for you. There are still a few 6th grade stones left." He Pingxing opened the ring and looked inside. Sure enough, it contained many sources of origin. These will be useful in the future. The further you progress in attaining enlightenment, the more resources you need. If we don't count 6th grade resources, it's not surprising that one would need to consume hundreds or even thousands of 5 elements origin to deeply comprehend the 5 elements Tao. After all, every origin contains different laws and methods, even if they are of the same attribute. Okay, you've worked hard. He Pingxing put away the things. These are just what I need. You can keep the rest. Oh, right, there's one more thing. He Pingxing stared intently at Xianxia and said, "Having been here for so many years, You must have accumulated quite a network of connections, right? Xianxia said, yes, we now have our own chamber of commerce, our own auction house, and a large amount of resources here in Floating Light Immortal City. He Pingxing said, now that Qianmao Immortal Enclosure has been taken over by our own people, come with me there and open a business association in Qianmao City of Qianmao Immortal Enclosure. Oh, by the way, the name has been changed. Qianmao Immortal City has been renamed Red Lotus Immortal City. Replace the characters Tenmao with Red Lotus. These two characters are to commemorate the Red Lotus Immortal Valley on our Yuhuang star, which is also my sect. Oh. Xianxia was overjoyed and said, this old servant knew before that the Qianmao star system had been renamed the Honglian star system, but I didn't know that it was related to the Honglian Immortal Valley. Young master, you are truly amazing. He Pingxing waved his hand. After settling you in the core of the galaxy, I will leave this galaxy and head to the core of the Li Mu star cluster. So, go and tidy up right away. I'll give you 3 days to pack all your belongings and also to take inventory of your people. Anyone who is one of yours and wants to go to the core immortal realm can be taken with me. Go. He Pingxing waved his hand to send Xianxia away, and then directly used the space compression technique to step into the void again. Yu Huang Star, Red Lotus Immortal Valley. Today, Red Lotus Immortal Valley has become the #1 sect on the entire Yu Emperor Star. Although Sect Master Sun Yan only has the cultivation level of the first level of the Profound Immortal stage, no one on the entire Yu Huang Star dares to underestimate him. He Pingxing flew into the void and disappeared into it. His immense divine sense instantly enveloped the entire sect. He could see everything and everyone in the sect clearly. Master Sun Yan is at the first level of the Profound Immortal stage. He is not in seclusion at the moment, but is playing cards with Chu Sheng, Xu Zhishan, and Su Muyu. Su Muyu's cultivation level has not improved much. She is currently only at the peak of the Earth Immortal stage. Xu Zhishan has already reached the 6th level of the Celestial Immortal stage. Chu Sheng's cultivation level was quite astonishing, surpassing Sun Yan and reaching the 3rd level of the Profound Immortal realm. He Pingxing did not disturb them. His divine sense slowly swept across the Red Lotus Immortal Valley. Finally, they landed in a grand hall. A woman sat upright in the main hall. She was Lu Xiaozi. Lu Xiaozi's cultivation level is also quite good. She's at the 5th level of the Profound Immortal realm. She's even stronger than Chu Sheng. Call out. He Pingxing flashed and used his supernatural ability to move through the void to pass directly through several layers of restrictions and landed in Lu Xiaozi's dojo. Junior brother he. It's you. I. Lu Xiaozi trembled all over when she saw He Pingxing. Large tears welled up in her eyes, lingering but not falling. He Pingxing smiled and said, why are you crying? Senior sister Lu, it's been so many years. Wah-ah-ah. Lu Xiaozi could no longer hold back her tears and said, it has been 5,433 years since we parted. All right, stop crying. He Pingxing patted her on the back and said, I just came to check on you, I was a little worried. Look what this is. He took out more than a dozen 5th-grade immortal talismans, all of which were of the highest quality. Moreover, these talismans included both offensive and defensive types. A 5th-grade immortal talisman is often enough to kill a golden immortal. Take this. If anyone causes trouble in the future, you can use this talisman to kill them. There's one more thing. He Pingxing continued, Ming Ryu has become the ruler of our star system. The Qianmao star system has now been renamed the Red Lotus star system. I estimate she'll come over again when she has time. I won't be going to my master's place or to Chu Sheng's place. You don't need to tell them I was here. Seeing that they're doing well is enough for me. I have some resources here, I'll leave them to you too. He Pingxing placed a ring in front of Lu Xiaozi. Lu Xiaozi didn't take the ring, but said, Junior brother, I think. However, before Lu Xiaozi could finish speaking, He Pingxing's figure suddenly disappeared. Junior brother. Junior brother, junior brother. Wait for my junior brother. She ran out of the main hall like a madwoman, trembling as she looked at the horizon, but she couldn't see He Pingxing anywhere. Chapter 1297. Another battle with Xianxia. Holy crap, so many people. Upon returning to Xianxia immortal enclosure, He Pingxing nearly wet himself in fear when he saw the hundreds of people on Red Sunset Peak. Yes, Xianxia said, these are all talented people. If you can take them with you, then please do so. Otherwise, once I arrive at Qianmao, no, I should say Honglian immortal enclosure, I'll have to spend a lot of time recruiting new people. Okay. He Pingxing took a deep breath. According to Master Li Qianxin's theory, each additional person carried on this void immortal ship requires more effort and takes an extremely long time to fly. However, He Pingxing did have a solution. He took out the primordial purple gold cudgel and, with a thought, opened up the magic weapon space. The Hongmeng purple gold cudgel is a rather special existence. This thing is of very high quality, but I don't know exactly how high. Inside it is a huge space, like a world in itself. This world will expand in size as the level of the primordial purple gold cudgel increases. It is now the size of the spirit realm. However, although the area was very large, it was only empty space, and there was nothing else inside. It lacks even the most basic rules and principles of the Tao. In short, pure space. Everyone, the core of the star system is too far away. When traveling, I will need to use the Great Tao technique to compress and fold space, so ordinary immortal ships and starships cannot be used. If you trust me, enter this space and I will use the void to take you away. Everyone trusted Cai Sure, and under his guidance, they entered the magical artifact space one by one. Then, He Pingxing opened the void immortal ship, empowered it with the power of the Great Tao, and it took off. It took off from the third spiral arm of the Pleiades immortal realm and flew towards the center of the entire star system. Fine. Because everyone was placed into the space of the primordial purple gold staff by He Pingxing, no extra weight was added. During flight, the speed remained unchanged compared to before. Before long, He Pingxing piloted the void immortal ship and landed on the Crimson Lotus immortal enclosure at the core of the star system. He Pingxing, please wait. Just as he landed, before He Pingxing could even determine the location of the Crimson Lotus immortal city, he heard a familiar voice. He Pingxing suddenly turned his head to look behind him, and saw a beam of light flying towards him from behind the vast mountains, close to the horizon. Han Hoji. He Pingxing's brows furrowed slightly, then he took a deep breath, mobilizing all his divine sense and activating his battle state. Good. It is me. Han Hoji crashed down 10 feet away from He Pingxing's body. He wore a dark purple Taoist robe with brown patterns and a pair of black boots. He looked spirited and confident, and to be honest, he did have a rather appealing appearance. Hehehe, hehehe. He Pingxing sneered, staring at Han Hoji, and said, "You despicable and shameless scoundrel, I even saved your life back then, and you actually tried to kill me last time. Stop pretending to be innocent." Han Hoji showed no remorse whatsoever, and said calmly, "We're both in the same boat. I admit, you did save me with good intentions at first. I also misjudged your character. However, you, He Pingxing, are no better. You son of a bitch sold my aura, forcing me to hide for hundreds of years and almost die several times. I wanted to kill you once, and you betrayed me once. Now everyone in the entire Qianmao immortal realm knows that I, Han Hoji, possess a rare treasure." He Pingxing said, "That's your own fault." "All right." Han Hoji said, "I brought this upon myself, so, can we settle our past grievances?" He Pingxing smiled and said, "Are you sure?" "Confirmed." Han Hoji said, "We all know each other well. You have a 6th grade bloodline that triggered the resonance of heaven and earth, and so do I. As for the reason, we both know it. I, Han Hoji, am speaking the truth. You and I, Han Hoji, are both individuals with great destiny protected by the heavenly Tao. I can't kill you, and you can't kill me. Why hurt each other? You talk too much nonsense." He Pingxing said, "Enough with the nonsense. Tell me why you came to see me. I don't believe you came here just to make up with me." No, that's not it, Han Hoji said. When Wei Tong left, he left behind 3 golden feather immortal tokens, and they're all in your hands now, aren't they? I want one, name your price. He Pingxing's expression changed drastically. With a wave of his hand, he directly activated a top-grade 6th rank immortal talisman. In an instant, a crimson fireblade, about 1,000 feet long, appeared in the void. The phantom of the fireblade, imbued with boundless fire elemental power, slashed down towards Han Hoji's head. Caught off guard, Han Hoji immediately cursed and then threw out a defensive talisman that formed a protective light membrane around his body. The 1,000-foot-long fiery blade slammed into the light membrane covering his body. As a result, He Pingxing's attack and Han Hoji's defense were reduced to dust almost simultaneously. A tremendous surge of energy rippled outwards in all directions. This is equivalent to the power of a peak Tai Golden Immortal strike, which is no small matter. Even the aftershocks still ravaged the land for thousands of miles below. Countless lives were lost, and the mountains, rocks, and trees were no longer recognizable. However, the next moment, another 24 copper coins attacked Han Hoji from 24 directions. This strike locked onto the void, imprisoning time. Even with immense magical power, Han Hoji could not escape. He had no choice but to tough it out. Still, Han Hoji's capabilities were not so weak that he would lose in the very second round. Rumble. An immense, oppressive force surged forth. Han Hoji was seen triggering a small mountain with each of his hands. The 2 small mountains flew out, transforming into one green and one red, shielding Han Hoji on his left and right. These mountain peaks were about 100 feet high, continuously swinging around Han Hoji in all directions. Astonishingly, they managed to precisely block the attack from He Pingxing's 24 golden cash coins. After 2 rounds like this, He Pingxing suddenly pulled out a heavy brightness golden pill and swallowed it down in a single gulp. The heavy brightness golden pill was something he had previously obtained from Heavenly Monarch Qianmao's ring, which He Pingxing later upgraded to supreme grade. Its sole function was to replenish the dantian. Because it was a 6th-turn rank, He Pingxing only needed to swallow a single pill to instantly refill his drained dantian completely. Indeed, that strike just now had possessed the power of a Tai Golden Immortal, so a single blow had drained his dantian empty. Similarly, Han Hoji across from him hurriedly pulled out a single drop of high-grade 3 light spirit liquid and swallowed it whole. Even though he had been on the defensive just now, it had still nearly drained his dantian dry to use his strongest defense and block He Pingxing's strike. Chapter 1298 The Agreement, The Transaction Rumble. After replenishing his magical power, He Pingxing did not stop at all. With a wave of his hand, the black stone disc transformed into a massive wheel, crushing down on Han Hoji's head. He Pingxing. Han Hoji almost vomited blood. Are you fucking a dog? You just came up and started hitting me. Can you let me finish what I have to say? Han Hoji kept talking and didn't dare to stop, so he could only take out 2 more divine mountains to deal with the situation. On the other side, He Pingxing's body had already transformed into a 10,000-foot-tall golden body. He approached with his imposing golden body and then delivered a powerful punch directly to Han Hoji. This punch didn't require any internal energy or immortal essence. It relied entirely on the power of blood and qi. 36 fists of creation. However, after so many years of seclusion, He Pingxing finally managed to combine the 36 heaven-opening fists into one, turning it into a single punch. This punch contained the intent of all the previous 36 punches, and also incorporated the power of all 36 punches. As soon as the punch was thrown, an unusual phenomenon occurred. The light in the void vanished in an instant, and the sky turned into darkness. The dark sky resembled a giant curtain of light, upon which strange phenomena flickered incessantly. As the enormous purple-gold fist descended upon Han Hoji, the illusory scenes seemed even more real. There are images of the beginning of heaven and earth, the myriad phenomena of the birth of all things, the unity of all laws when the great order is intertwined, and the cycle of fortune when all beings evolve. Heavenly music resounds. A sense of vicissitude pervades. The purplish gold fist, carrying a void phenomenon, slowly descended upon Han Hoji. Han Hoji dared not be careless and used all his strength to place the 2 divine mountains, one green and one red, in front of him to resist. He also opened up 2 top-grade 6th-rank immortal talismans for defense in one go. Bang! The immense power of He Pingxing's fist blasted the 2 mountain peaks apart, then slammed them hard into Han Houji's defensive light membrane. The first layer of light film was torn apart instantly. The second layer of light film ultimately failed to break. But when Han Houji came to his senses and put away the divine mountain, he suddenly saw that He Pingxing's golden body, which was 10,000 feet tall, had transformed into a black demonic body, which was 10,000 feet tall. 1,000 arms stretched out from his back, like a huge black wheel. In each palm, an eye is open. No! Han Houji shouted, He Pingxing, put away your supernatural powers, I'm really not looking for you to fight, are you a mad dog? Don't worry, you can't kill me. Han Houji screamed hysterically. He Pingxing asked with a cold expression, you went to find my junior sister. Wei Tong gave them 3 golden feather immortal tokens back then. One was in He Pingxing's hands, and the other 2 were given to Ming Ryu. Ming Ryu later gave those 2 coins to He Pingxing as well. No one else knew about this except for Ming Ryu and He Pingxing. Han Houji came to see him today, which means he must have gone to see Ming Ryu first, otherwise He Pingxing wouldn't be so angry. Calm down, calm down. Han Houji said, I really didn't fight your junior sister. Use your brain, I went there to ask for a deal, not to fight. I, Han Houji, am not a brainless idiot. What good would it do me to lay a hand on her? Please, stop using your supernatural powers, it's useless. You can't kill me. HMPH. He Pingxing also knew that it was unrealistic to kill Han Houji right now. After all, this guy's cultivation had already reached the 8th level of the Golden Immortal stage, 2 levels higher than his. Swoosh! After withdrawing his supernatural powers, He Pingxing transformed into a beam of light and flew towards the Northern Crown Demon Realm. Han Houji followed behind him and said, Are you going to find Ming Ryu? You still don't believe me. Okay, I'll go with you. After about half an incense stick's time, the 2 landed outside Ming Ryu's dojo. Seeing that Ming Ryu was unharmed, He Pingxing finally breathed a sigh of relief. I asked around and found out that Han Houji really didn't make a move. Do you believe me now? Han Houji looked at He Pingxing and said, From the moment you experienced that resonance with heaven and earth, I realized one thing. We're the same kind of people, Dude, we're both people with great fortune. I can't kill you, and you can't kill me. If I were to be killed by you at the Golden Immortal stage, wouldn't my heaven and earth resonance be pointless? Hey you, Immortal King Ming Ryu, step aside for a moment. I need to talk to He Pingxing about something. Tomorrow, the moon will depart. He Pingxing and Han Houji landed on a mountain peak. Speak. He Pingxing said, What do you want? Han Houji said, I have absolutely no intention of killing you right now. I know that's impossible, but I'm begging you, please don't fucking try anything with me, okay? Not only will it be a waste of your effort, but you might also lose money yourself. Today, let's make a gentleman's agreement. Han Houji looked at He Pingxing with a sincere expression and said, Neither of us is allowed to reach the Great Luo Golden Immortal Realm first, nor are we allowed to go into the River of Time to spy on the other. Is that all right? Good heavens! He Pingxing smiled and said, You're just as worried as I am. All right. He Pingxing said, I can agree to that. He had been worried that Han Houji would arrive at the Great Luo Golden Immortal Realm first. But Han Houji was not afraid either. Also, after we get to Li Muyuan, neither of us is allowed to reveal that the other has a big secret. He Pingxing nodded, okay. Han Houji feared the endless pursuit, and He Pingxing was naturally afraid as well. As for the fact that everyone in this galaxy knows that Han Houji has a big secret, that doesn't matter, because basically no one here has the possibility of going to Li Muyuan. Han Houji said, Then let's make a vow. By the grace of heaven, my true name is Han Houji, and today I hereby swear an oath to the heavenly Tao. By the heavenly Tao, my true name is He Pingxing, and today I hereby swear an oath to the heavenly Tao. The 2 men each made an oath, and each man's oath was exactly the same. Of course, the oath only stipulated that neither of them would go through the river of time to destroy the other's past or future. It doesn't say that you can't attack the other party outside the river of time. After the oath was sworn, the two of them breathed a sigh of relief. All right. Han Houji looked at He Pingxing and said, "The oath to heaven has been sworn. Now, I have another matter for you. Then, give me a badge." He extended his hand to He Pingxing. He Pingxing said, "Let's keep things separate. Giving you the plaque isn't out of the question, but we can't just give it to you for nothing, can we?" Han Houji said, "You can't hide the fact that Wei Tong gave you 3 tokens. Furthermore, to participate in the Golden Feather Gathering, one must achieve a score of 99 points at the 9th level of the Golden Immortal Realm. It's not that I, Han Houji, am arrogant, but in the entire Qianmao star system, besides you and me, there probably won't be a third one. Can you still have babies while holding this brand? Besides, this item was bestowed by Wei Tong. It was originally a shared possession of the entire star system given to us by the Li Mu star cluster. Whoever is capable will receive it. Why won't you give it to me?" He Pingxing picked his nose twice with his middle finger. "What you said makes some sense." Han Houji was overjoyed. Chapter 1299 You killed my fellow Daoister Han Houji. What you said makes a lot of sense. He Pingxing chuckled, a sly smile spreading across his face, and said, "But I just won't give it to you. What can you do about it?" You. Han Houji's face turned ashen with anger. He Pingxing said, "Your 2 sacred mountains, one green and one red, are quite impressive." Impossible. Han Houji jumped up as if his tail had been stepped on. He Pingxing, don't go too far. It's impossible for you to have my sacred mountain. I might consider other things. He Pingxing didn't even think about asking Han Houji for any sacred mountain. He knew that Han Houji would not agree to that either. We're all smart people. It's impossible for us to use a mere Golden Feather Immortal token to manipulate each other. Even if Han Houji can't get the Golden Feather Immortal token here, when it comes to Li Muyuan, surely he'll be able to get it. Impossible. How about this? He Pingxing said, "Just give me 1,000 drops of your 6th grade 3 light spirit liquid." Thut. Han Houji spat out a mouthful of water. "Big brother, do you know what you're saying? My purple gold bottle can only condense 1 drop of 3 light spirit liquid every month. Now that the level of the spirit liquid is getting higher and higher, the speed at which I can condense it is getting slower and slower. 1,000 drops, are you dreaming? Even if I did have it, I would never give it to you. How about this?" Han Houji thought for a moment and said, "I'll give you 10 drops. No more." He Pingxing just looked at him with a smile, without saying anything. Han Houji took a deep breath and changed the number himself, 20 drops. He Pingxing still didn't respond. Han Houji, as if having made up his mind, said, 50 drops. Deal. He Pingxing took out a Golden Feather Immortal token and said with a smile, "Deal, deal." Han Houji took out a small bottle from his ring and handed it to He Pingxing. "This contains 50 drops of 6th grade spiritual liquid. It's priceless, it's so precious to me." He Pingxing took the jade bottle, handed over the Golden Feather Immortal token, and asked, "Is it really true that it takes a month to condense just 1 drop?" Han Houji looked pained. "Yes." He Pingxing, "Then your purple gold bottle won't work either. It's too slow." Han Houji didn't dwell on the matter of the purple gold bottle. Instead, he looked at He Pingxing with curiosity and asked, "Fellow Daoist, may I ask, what exactly is your great secret? It's not that you also have a treasure that can strengthen all things, like me, is it? I'm just curious, can you tell me about it?" Whether Han Houji was curious or not, He Pingxing didn't know, but he certainly wouldn't be foolish enough to reveal his treasure bowl. He simply took a deep breath, then said earnestly, "Actually, it's not like that. You know I have something really amazing." "How so?" He Pingxing instantly switched to rambling mode. "It's just a bead, and there's a green law on this bead that's connected to my soul. Every time I die, I can be resurrected, of course, at the cost of my cultivation level dropping a tiny bit. But it doesn't matter anymore. As long as I come back to life, I will exterminate the entire family of those who killed me. You can think of it as infinite rebirth. Hiss hiss hiss. Han Houji gasped, fellow Daoist, this bead is truly extraordinary, capable of infinite rebirth. You're not lying to me, are you? He Pingxing said, if I said I wasn't lying to you, would you believe me? You'll find out when you kill me once. After saying that, He Pingxing chuckled at Han Houji. Han Houji suddenly felt a tremor from the depths of his soul. Fellow Daoist, going to Li Muyuan is not something that can be done by one person alone. I am willing to join you in this journey. Please consider it. Han Houji put away the token and made another suggestion. He Pingxing asked, do you know how long it takes to get to Li Muyuan? Han Houji said, I don't know, but according to my calculations, even if we use the power of the laws of space, it will take at least 60 years. Can you withstand continuously casting the great Tao of space techniques during that time? He Pingxing frowned slightly. How about this? I plan to head to Red Lotus Immortal City now and depart in 3 days. Wait for me at the standard Heavenly Gate formation. I'll think about it some more. Okay. Han Houji nodded, then whooshed into the void and disappeared without a trace. He Pingxing didn't linger either. After bidding farewell to Ming Ryu, he also flew into the void and headed towards the Red Lotus Immortal City. The so-called Crimson Lotus Immortal City is the former Qianmao Immortal City. It's just a name change. Nothing else has changed. After arriving in Red Lotus Immortal City, the first thing He Pingxing did was release Xianxia and the others from their spatial storage and then move directly into the largest merchant guild in the city. The largest chamber of commerce was originally the 7 Stars Chamber of Commerce, which belonged to Qianmao as his private property. Now that Qianmao is dead, the City Lord of the Immortal City is arranged by Ming Ryu, and the City Lord here is Xianxia Demon King, one of the 6 great Demon Kings. Since the Demon King of Heavenly Time is the City Lord, the largest merchant guild naturally belongs to He Pingxing. He Pingxing arranged for the quarry to be located here, so naturally the Heavenly Timing Demon King would protect it. Keep a good job. He Pingxing patted Xianxia on the shoulder with a smile and said, as soon as you hear any news about Kai Yu, be sure to tell me immediately. My dear reader, there's more to, even more exciting content awaits. Furthermore, I've heard that there are top-tier immortal fruits in this immortal realm. After eating a 9th grade immortal fruit, one can instantly raise their cultivation to the level of a great Luo golden immortal, regardless of whether they possess extraordinary wisdom or not. If I ever get my hands on this kind of magical fruit in the future, I'll save one for you. Xianxia, his face streaked with tears, cried out, Wara, young master, please take care on your journey. He Pingxing smiled and spent 2 or 3 days helping Xianxia set up the Chamber of Commerce. He then personally introduced Xianxia to the Heavenly Time Demon King before leaving. After leaving, the first thing to do was naturally to go to the standard Heavenly Gate formation. Because Wei Tong had said that to participate in the Golden Feather Gathering, one must have a score of 99 points at the 9th level of the Golden Immortal stage. Otherwise, you are not qualified. Before heading to Li Muyuan, we still need to do a test. If you can't reach that level, then there's no need to go. When He Pingxing arrived at the standard Heavenly Gate formation, he found a commotion at the entrance. Han Houji, holding a sword, was leaning against a massive stone pillar, looking at the people around him while munching on a magical fruit. He Pingxing extended his divine sense to look over, and saw a pile of minced meat and golden blood splattered all over the ground not far away. He Pingxing asked, "What's wrong?" Someone said, "In the past, Qianmao's grand disciple Bailu was blind and offended fellow Daoist Han. Fellow Daoist Han smashed him into mincemeat with a mountain. Forehead." He Pingxing suddenly thought of egrets. Good heavens. Han Houji, you fucking killed me, my fellow Daoist Jibar.